Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
With 9 days rest since his last start, Chris Sale took the hill last night looking rejuvenated, giving the Sox 8 strong innings. But in the end, it was Gordon Beckham's go-ahead home run in the 8th to help solidify a 4-2 win versus the Royals. Tonight in Game 2, can Jake Peavy and the Sox extend their series win streak to 5 straight? We'll find out next, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. There's Paul KONERKO, Adam Dunn, Alex Rios, Jake Peavy and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Billy Butler, Mike Moustakas, and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you Game 2 of this 3-game set. If you missed the opener last night, you missed a Jim Dandy. We were all concerned what was going to happen with Chris Sale. Well, his first fastball was at 93. His second fastball was at 95. And Steve and I just looked at each other and smiled because we knew he was back, and back he certainly was. He went 8 strong, giving up just 2 runs. Sox on a big home run by Gordon Beckham won that ball game 4-2. So the Sox come in at 60-48, still a game and a half in front of the Tigers. And tonight, Jake Peavy.
Jake Peavy going to the mound and throwing the ball exceptionally well. He's 9-7 this year. His ERA just a touch over 3. And although he's had some luck against Kansas City, his ERA against them lifetime is a little under 5. So they've hit him pretty well, and they're getting Mike Moustakas back in the lineup. Now on our side of the field, we lost a couple of guys. Diaz is still out of the lineup, and Euclid with a sore knee is also out of the lineup. So it'll look a little different tonight. But with Jake going to the mound, we should be okay. Bruce Chen on the other side has given us some problems. Although he doesn't have a winning record against us, he does have a pretty good ERA. However, he hasn't won a game in 6 weeks. And that bodes well for our side against a soft-tossing left-hander. Let's go get him tonight.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
To you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all, Ford. Drive one. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank. Helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank. NA member FDIC. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. And by Toyota. With great specials on fuel-efficient vehicles. Right now, you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer.
To bring you game 2 of this 3-game set. If you missed the opener last night, you missed a Jim Dandy. We were all concerned what was going to happen with Chris Theo. Well, his first fastball was at 93. His second fastball was at 95. And Steve and I just looked at each other and smiled because we knew he was.
It's 86 degrees at game time, but not a cloud in the sky on a gorgeous night for baseball. And let's take a look at how Ned Yost is going to line them up. So the Miller Time starting lineup for these Kansas City Royals. Gordon leading off, then GETZ, MOUSTAKAS, BUTLER, who homered last night, FRANCOEUR, who also homered last night, with Pena, HOSMER, ABREU, and DYSON rounding it out. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Jake Peavy. VICIEDO, DANKS, and Rios in the outfield. Olmedo, Ramirez, BECKHAM, and KONERKO in the infield. AJ PIERZYNSKI behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jake Peavy. Jake looking to go into double figures with his 10th win, his ERA 3.04. Here's the umpires for the game. Jim Wolf behind the plate, Ron Culpa at first, Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, and Alan Porter rounded out. So we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball. And the first pitch of the ball game is high and wide from Jake Peavy to Alex Gordon. Gordon comes in, hitting at .291, 6 homers. He's driven in 41. He was 1 for 4 last night. There's the strike, and the count evens, and a big pitch for Jake tonight against this particular club with these young hitters is going to be that changeup. Two and one to count.
He also has to make sure that he keeps the speed burners off base, because this team runs, they run often, and they run effectively.
Wells hitting at .267 as a club with a 4.47 ERA, and there it is. There it is. Gordon 4 for 16 lifetime off the Jake Meister. And that's low. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
He tried that changeup, but didn't get it over the plate, and unfortunately, a leadoff walk to Gordon.
Gordon 5 for 8 in stolen bases, and that'll bring up Chris GETZ. Chris hitting at .288, no homers, 15 knocked in. Chris was 2 for 3 last evening. Olmedo in on the grass at third. As there's ball one. That's a pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
Nissan pitch tracks, and that looked like it had a good part of the plate.
Count evens at 1.
Well, many times what happens is when a catcher sets up a way like AJ, which he did, and then reaches back over the plate, even though the ball's a strike, many times the umpire won't give it to you. In this case, it was Jim Wolf.
That's a please the fans in the stands call. As that is inside. So a count 2-1. We see that glove moving that much. It must be a ball.
Well, that's, yeah, pretty much it.
And the count 3-1 to GETZ. This is the 8th meeting of the year between these two clubs in the first 7. Our Sox have won 4 of them.
GETZ makes pretty good contact to stay out of a double play. It's not a bad time to send Gordon.
Leadoff, back-to-back walks, and he threw a couple of strikes in there that did not get called. So he's a little upset. Can't blame him. And with that, that'll bring up Moustakas, hitting at .259, 16 homers, 50 knocked in.
He was out with a sore knee, and tonight Kevin Youkilis is not in the lineup due to a sore knee.
Outfield, for the most part, straight up. Moustakas, 2 for 12 lifetime off Jake. So trouble of brewing right here in the top of the first inning with back-to-back walks. And there's ball one. And a Brock's chair goes up for a 1-1 count.
Well, Moustakas, despite not having blazing speed, and he doesn't have that, he's only grounded into 2 double plays this year in 379 at bats. This team has always been difficult for Jake. For whatever reason, these Royals have caused him some problems.
Two and two.
Jake lifetime 4-5 against this team with an ERA of 4.92. That's last time against the Royals. As you can see, they hit him pretty well. And that particular game, he had good control.
Two on, and the 2-2 pitch. He gone. Helped him out. One down.
Take a look at where this location is. That one is way out of the strike zone. You'd love to see a pitcher struggling with his control get a break like that. Now you got Billy Butler, who does ground into a whole lot of double plays. Standing, waiting to ground into another.
And these next two guys have hit Jake well. Butler's 9 for 22 with 3 homers. Billy comes in hitting at 300, 21 homers, 67 driven in. He was 1 for 4 last night with a solo shot. Butler, one of those guys, is not afraid to take a strike. In fact, he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. That's why he is such a good hitter.
Well, he's one of the few real power guys that is not going to strike out 130, 140 times.
Yeah, you get those guys who are not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, they're not going to punch out that much. That's it to left field. Off the end of the bat, and 2 down. Then you get guys like myself. When I got 0-2, I was paranoid, panic, chaos. That's one reason Dick Allen, former MVP with our White Sox, was always an amazing guy to me, because in spring training, up until the last week to 10 days, he never swung the bat till he had 2 strikes. All he wanted to do was see pitches.
Well, he was an amazing hitter, and as strong a hands, wrists, and forearms as you'll ever want to see.
Yeah. FRANCOEUR, he is 10 for 24 lifetime against Jake. Jeff comes in at 241, 11 homers and 32 knocked in.
Outfield pretty deep and absolutely straight away for FRANCOEUR.
And the count 0-2.
This is a guy Jake can take advantage of, because FRANCOEUR has always been very aggressive. It's led to a lot of strikeouts. And the fact is, in 394 at bats, he's walked just 17 times. So normally, if it stays in the ballpark, he's going to be swinging at it.
Just did get a piece of that one.
Very active first inning for Peavy so far, but that's what happens when you walk the first 2. However, he can get out of the inning without giving up a run, which would boost the offense quite a bit.
He gone. You don't see that very often. Walk the first 2 men and leave them right there. Meanwhile, after half inning of play, it's their guys 0, and our guys coming to bat.
Robin Ventura. Let's see how Robin's going to line him up. Gordon Beckham leading off tonight with Ramirez hitting second. Then it's Dunn, KONERKO, Red Hot Alex Rios, AJ PIERZYNSKI, VICIEDO, DANKS, and Olmedo rounded out. The defense and how they will play behind Bruce CHEN, Gordon, Dyson, and FRANCOEUR, MOUSTAKAS, ABREU, GETZ, and HOSMER, Ryan Pena catching. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Bruce CHEN, 7-9 this year. ERA over 5.5. He doesn't walk many people. He's given up a lot of hits per innings pitched, and he hasn't won a game in 6 weeks. So let's hope he's not thinking of starting out tonight.
And before we show you our picks to click you at home, select yours. As Gordon Beckham will lead it off. Gordon 1 for 3 last night, but it was a biggie. And the first pitch from CHEN. Taking for a strike, and if you missed that game, in a 2-2 tie, 8th inning last night.
Mendoza rolled a breaking ball, and that one came up and said, "Hit me," and Gordon did. Moved into double figures with his 10th.
Two and one to count. Sox come in hitting at .258 as a club with a 3.96 ERA. Sox 30-23 here at home. 30-25 on the road. In fact, the Sox in the last 15 games here at home have won 13 on them. And the count 3-1.
Why do most of the big right-hand hitters have trouble hitting pitchers like Bruce CHEN?
Get a little greedy. Get a little greedy. As you know, there's a strike called. As you know, he's what you call a comfortable 0 for 4.
So game plan would be take him to right, and if he comes inside with anything, then you can pull him?
Stevie, I'll tell you what, if you can take in your process, your approach. That ball hit hard. Stretch. Stretch. Dyson back, looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes. Solo shot by Gordon, and it is 1-0. Good guy. Sully's happy.
'11th home run. He's driven in 40. And starts off the game in very good shape. Ford home run replay. CHEN throws a high fastball, and it leaves a yard.
So here is ALEXEI.
CHEN has really been struggling of late.
That's his 21st home run that he's thrown. Now, CHEN is one of those soft tossing left-handers that I love to watch pitch because he's got a pitch. It's just that simple. I don't like the result when he pitches against us in the past, but from a baseball standpoint, you see guys like that go out there, and in his career he is 67-67, and for you and I, that is, you know, really good for him.
Well, a 500 pitcher with the stuff that he's featured most of his career isn't too bad.
No, not at all. Gives you innings. He's actually playing with a very swollen left hand.
There you look at the career numbers with that ERA up there, but a lot of teams have wanted him.
Nice pick by MOUSTAKAS. And here's the reason that he is playing with a very swollen left hand.
Mendoza goes up and in and catches him flush. Pretty fortunate not to have broken anything getting hit like that.
That's what it looks like. It looks like he broke it if you look at it to the eyes. Here's Adam. 0-1 the count, Adam. 0 for 4 last night, but drops down. 5 for 13 lifetime against CHEN with a homer.
They do have modified shift against Adam, but gets way back on the grass.
Dropped down with that breaking ball. 2-2.
CHEN started with Atlanta, then went to Philadelphia, went to the Mets, Montreal, Cincinnati, Houston, Boston, Baltimore, Texas. Now he's found a home seemingly in Kansas City. Got there in 09 and he's still there.
Full count. Well, if it had been right-handed, you could have stopped after the first 2.
That's true. Get the ball over the plate and throw with your left arm. You got a job.
High pop up left side. Gordon. 2 down. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Jim Angio, our director and the crew, they went with Beckham. Steve's going with Jordan Danks, and Bob Bechtel, Jane Nightingale tonight. We're going to go with AJ. Left-hander against left-hander. Danks, left-hander against left-hander. Yes, here's Paulie. Paulie at .319, 18 homers, 54 driven in. And here's what he did leading off the 7th last night.
This tied the score at 2. A line drive blast. Probably didn't get more than 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah, that might be the lowest in height. The lowest home run I've ever seen him hit. And he's had 414 of them.
We're getting that stroke back again, as he is in the process of doing. It's pretty important to the middle of our lineup.
High pop up right side. Long way for everybody to go. Hosmer is good at this. And he makes the catch. But the leadoff homer by Beckham after 1. It is 1-0 Sox.
In the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And for upcoming White Sox games, the first 25,000 fans receive an El Diablo game card worth $1 off a bottle of hot and spicy mustard. El Diablo, the mustard that screams back. Brian Pena, switch hitting catcher. It's a 1-0 Sox lead with that homer by Beckham.
He's not a great hitter. He's a switch hitter and almost identical from both sides of the plate. 1 home run from each side, almost the same average.
And he's usually hit the ball well against us. Outfield for the most part straight up. And some good news about that Beckham home run. Sox 52 and 25 when we hit at least 1 home run.
Not surprising, because we have a little more pop up and down this lineup than just about everybody. That's one of the reasons for this home stretch. It's been very hot. Our home run hitters have been hitting the ball out of the ballpark, usually with more frequency than the visitors, and consequently we've been dominating here at U.S. Cellular.
2-2. Alexei.
Last 13 games, the record 10-3. The batting average 271, but runs per game up there at 5.7, which is certainly enough to get the job done. 24 left the ballpark, 22 doubles, but the ERA terrific, 3.07, and the bullpen ERA even better. So with the addition of the couple of veterans to the pen, that ERA has been great.
That ERA 1.15 in the last 2 weeks from the bullpen.
And still a few youngsters out there doing the job, but the addition, Jesse Crain coming back, Brett Myers there, is a huge addition. As a veteran pen, or at least a few integral pensmen that are veterans, really help out.
2-0 pitch to Hosmer. Count evens at 2.
There's a man that gets everybody ready to go. Juan Nieves, the bullpen coach. This coaching staff has just been brilliant this year.
It is. Unfortunately, we're going to lose a couple of them.
Well, I don't doubt that for a minute. You're talking about the managerial jobs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Juan has done, he's been an unsung hero in this ball club. Getting these youngsters ready mentally to come into this ball game. That's one reason I love and know that Coop is one of the best, if not the best, in the business. Certainly Coop knows the fundamentals and the mechanics of pitching, but where his real forte is getting these guys to be able to cure themselves out on that bump with the way they think. As there's ball 4.
Well, that's a big difference, and it's tough for young pitchers to do that. I mean, veteran pitchers have a pretty good idea because they've been through it before. They've been through every type of slump you could imagine. They've been through the dead arms. They've been through the bad stuff. They've been through the hanging breaking ball. But youngsters, they haven't been through it. And Coop does just a great job with all of them.
He did. And watching he and Chris Sale work this spring was a lot of fun, because Coop will get behind him and give him scenarios. Give him a name. For an example, he'll say Miguel Cabrera to plate. Now I want you to hit that. I want you to hit that outside part with a changeup, and if you miss low. What that does is for Chris is keeps his arm up. So if he does miss, he misses low.
I thought he would say walk him and take your chances with fielder.
Well, I'm sure he got up to that point too. Yes, rack him up. Sox lead at 1-0. visited pediatric patients and passed out Southpaw plush pal dolls at the University of Chicago Comer Children's Hospital. The players received a tour of the facility and went room to room, spending time with a number of children. During that visit, the White Sox also presented Dr. Cunningham in the hospital with a check for $15,000 from Chicago White Sox Charities. Now, the visit and the check presentation were the second of 4 community outreach events during this week's White Sox Charities Week. To learn more about the week or White Sox Charities, visit whitesox.com/community.
Very nice to see the 2 young guys going out, involving themselves in the community, because it could be that both of them are going to be around for quite some time. They have great arms, and they've done a terrific job this year.
And they're growing. I'm talking about mentally. So here's Alex. Takes first pitch strike. Rios hitting at .316, 18 homers, 67 knocked in.
Dyson can really go get him in center field.
That change up turned it over, missed.
The way Rios has been hitting, he's been using the alleys a lot.
And there's a pull into the hole off the changeup. Alex last night 1 for 3 with a triple, a big triple. Got us on the board in the second inning after AJ knocked him in, and here is AJ with that double.
The remarkable run of Alex Rios continues. Boy, has he been hitting the ball hard.
AJ at .293, 21 homers, 62 as he takes off. AJ saw it, didn't even attempt. So he picks up his 16th stolen base.
Well, they went on first move, so they obviously picked up something in the move of Bruce Chen, because he's off to the races, and even with a good throw, and this was not a good throw, they weren't going to get Rios.
Alex 16 for 21 in stolen bases. There's the strike, and the count 1-1. Alex also has 26 doubles and 6 triples.
In the current hitting streak for AJ, 370 with 5 home runs. Plus, he's sneaking up on his all-time high in runs batted in.
One and two.
We saw ABREU at third base last night. We see him at shortstop tonight. Ned Yost trying to find out just how much this guy can do.
That'll get the job done. Alex in the third. And bring up Viciedo. And Royals bring the infield in. Tank hitting at .248, 16 homers, 51 knocked in. But lifetime against Chen, he's 6 for 10. You know, the 6 hits, 5 of them stayed in the park. One and one to count. Outfield spread out. Just a little bit of a gap in left center. That is a high pop up. Two down. So it'll be left up to Danks. Jordan hitting at 308 since being called up. And he was 1 for 3 last night. Hosmer slips, but Chen is right where he should be. So we get a man on second, no out. Get a man on third, 1 out, and can't score it. Training camp reports on Sportsnet Central. Kip Lewis and Moon Mullen, John Moon Mullen, bring you exclusive interviews, the latest roster moves, and more from Bears camp in Bourbonnais. Bears training camp reports every night on Sportsnet Central, only on Comcast Sportsnet. First pitch strike to Jared Dyson, hitting at 271, no homers. He's driven in 9. Speedster. He has 22 stolen bases and 25 attempts. Up high, 1-1.
VICIEDO might be playing him a little too deep in left field. Normally Dyson doesn't have that kind of power. If he's going to hit it there, he's going to loop it in front of you.
One and 2 the count.
Jake is yet to give up a hit. He's walked 3. But a great job of pitching in that first inning. A couple of strikeouts and a flyout. And then a double play in the second, getting him out of any potential difficulties.
Two and 2. And a full count.
Well, you got to throw it down the middle here and say how far can he hit it, because this would be the last guy in this lineup you want to walk.
He gone.
That is basically what Jake did. Here's a fastball. Let's see what you can do. The answer is nothing. Take a seat.
Alex Gordon walked. He walked to start off the ball game. Healthy rip at that one. Gordon 4 for 16 lifetime off Peavy. And that's up high.
Gordon has big power. He just hasn't shown it this year.
Well, he had 23 homers last year. Playing in that ballpark's not all bad.
No, it's good. because that's not an easy place to hit the ball out of unless you decide to pull it right down the line, which very few guys can do.
Count evens at 2. Second of this series and 5th of this 9-game homestand. Close pitch, didn't get it.
Second time in a row he goes full.
Throwing a lot of pitches. This will be number 49. Here with 1 out in the top of the 3rd.
Tried a backdoor breaking ball, and Gordon was able to get a piece of it. Mark Parent talking it over with Don Cooper.
That's fair ball. Foley's got him. 2 out. And that'll bring up GETZ. He also walked back in the 1st. If you're just tuning in, Jake walked Gordon and GETZ. To start things off, he struck out MOUSTAKAS. Got Butler out to left and then struck out FRANCOEUR. Yes, pops it up. Jordan is there. Can of corn. 1-2-3 inning. And we'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, leading 1-0.
It's a dandy. Who was the last White Sox player with a 5-hit game against Kansas City? And the hint, because this is a very tough one, it happened in 2004. So think about that. We'll get back to you a little later in the game with the answer.
One nothing good guys here in the bottom of the 3rd. Ray Olmedo will lead it off. Olmedo making his first plate appearance in a Sox uniform. Switch hitter. That's what he was doing in Charlotte. Hitting at 273. As we speak, bottom of the 5th in Detroit. Tigers leading the Yankees 4-2.
Well, he didn't take that advice. Phil Hughes was in the game at the time. Didn't take the advice we were talking about with Chris Sale. When you face Miguel Cabrera with 2 on, you put him on to face Fielder. So Cabrera hit a 2-run double. And now they're facing Fielder. That man can just flat out hit.
Well, he is arguably the best hitter in this league.
Very, very, very consistent, very tough.
As there's 1 out. And here's the difference in this ball game. Gordon Beckham leading off for us, bottom of the first.
Taking advantage of getting in the leadoff spot. And he hits his 11th. Drives in his 40th. Good news, I talked with Alejandro, and Diaz has said that he's got a very good chance to be playing tomorrow after that nasty collision at second base.
Yeah, he took a knee right in the grill. Slow curveball, no. 21 to count.
Diaz really has meant a whole lot to this team. Scored 69 runs in 103 games.
That ball hit hard in the center field. Well, if you had to right now, it would be a tight tilt for MVP on this ball club between Diaz and Alex Rios.
Well, there's no doubt. And, you know, you wouldn't be wrong either way. AJ certainly would get a number of votes for the run he's on and the offensive year he's had, especially handling all the young pitchers, which is a really difficult thing to do on a daily basis. So I'm not sure that you could go wrong choosing any one of maybe 5 guys.
Yeah, you could. You could go that route. Just foul. Dadgummit. Alexei. Moustakas made a good pick on him to get him his first at bat. One thing about this guy, as we talked about last night, not much meat on his bones, but he is strong, and he, I'll tell you, is durable. You saw that hand, that left hand, which you and I both saw. I'll tell you, it is not pretty.
Now, I talked with him before the game today. He just wants to play.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes out there every day, just wants to play. He's one of those guys that doesn't really, when you look at him, especially on television, he doesn't appear to be as strong as he really is. He's playing in game number 106. We're playing game number 108.
That's into left field. A little too quick. Caught it off the end of the bat on that hanging breaking ball. And that'll retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning. But we lead at 1-0.
is brought to you by the new Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
That's the story as you check out our Comcast Sportsnet tail of the tape. Gordon Beckham's homer leading off the bottom of the first. So for the Royals here in the top of the fourth, Moustakas, Butler, and FRANCOEUR, the heart of their order. As Moustakas struck out his first trip, takes strike one. 23-year-old. High pop up, Beckham making the call. And a reminder, you can join our White Sox mobile group today by texting Ultimate to 244-769. Mobile users get exclusive offers, deals, and contest info. Joining enters you into the drawing for our Ultimate Fan Package, where a lucky winner will receive 2 VIP game tickets, an autographed item, and Comiskey cash. Text Ultimate to 244-769. Butler caught one off the end of the bat, flied out to Viciedo and left. One and one to count. Shanks that one. And a big White Sox shout out. And happy birthday to Joe Ryan, former executive sports editor of the Chicago Daily News, who recently celebrated his 99th birthday. Wow. Happy birthday, Joe. And many more, buddy. There's Billy Butler, doing what he can do and has been doing for a long time. Picks up his 17th two-bagger.
Butler hits 300 because he can use the whole field, and this is not a bad pitch. It's Menard's pitch tracks. It shows you actually the pitch is off the plate, but good coverage. And Puck told you earlier there's 3 or 4 guys in this lineup with really good plate coverage, and Butler is one of them. He just showed it to you.
FRANCOEUR struck out to end the first inning. Takes it right there. And here's a nice one from Pete Williamson. Said the White Sox sent out some money to our league 2 years ago when our fields were destroyed by a tornado. And we would like you to know that the Streeter 12s are now just 2 wins away from playing in Williamsport in the Little League World Series. That's awesome. And also, side note, we are the hometown of the mayor, Mean Joe Group.
How about that? Who'd have figured that they'd be 2 games away from going to Williamsport, which, by the way, I did a College World Series there when the Kirtland Washington team won it all, and that's one of the most exciting events you've ever seen. Just the look on these kids' faces is just to them it means the whole world.
The innocence of it.
Oh.
No agents.
No. Although the kid that pitched for Kirtland Washington at the time was about 5'10" and a half and 182 pounds. He might have had an agent. I'm not sure. He was 12 years old.
1 out, the 3-2 pitch, FRANCOEUR. Helped him out. Outfield straight up. 1-2-0 for us. 0-1-0 for them. Butler's double right there. The first hit given up by Jake. There's a shot. We got a man there. That's a hang woof'em for FRANCOEUR.
VICIEDO positioned perfectly for a line drive rocket off the bat of Jeff FRANCOEUR. So not only Brian Pena stands in the way of Jake getting out of this inning with a 1-0 lead.
Pena popped up to Alexei. Finale tomorrow night. Jose Quintana against Jeremy Guthrie in that game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. If you can't make it to the ballpark, but make it to the ballpark. Another pop up. Alexei going to get him again, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the fourth, still leading 1-0. Xfinity Couch, the best seat in the house. When it comes to the White Sox, Xfinity gives you a front row seat to all the best action as the Sox make their push for the postseason play. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko, Alex Rios here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Gordon Beckham's home run still holding up as the only tally in this ball game through 3.5. Adam popped up to Alex Gordon in left field. Takes first pitch strike. Another strike. And a count of 1-2.
Both those pitches right on top of one another. If you call one, you've got to call the other.
And there's a shot. Dyson got a good jump, and he's there. That's a hang woof'em for Biggin.
We talked about covering the alleys, and not many can cover the alleys like Jared Dyson. This was a rocket off the bat of Adam. With the left-hander up, that ball will hook away from the center field.
So here's Pauly. He fouled out to Hosmer. Hosmer making a good catch, having to go a long way. And that's fair. Moustakas. And 2 down.
Earlier we asked you the AT&T trivia question, and it was, who was the last White Sox player with a 5-hit game against Kansas City? And it was back in 2004, and the answer, Willie Harris. 5 for 5 with 3 doubles, a run batted in back on August 10th of 04.
Peapod.
Was he a good player for you?
Not as good as we thought he was going to be, but he was good for the ball club, good on the team. Of Hayhira, Georgia. Alex singled his first trip and stole his 16th base. Got in on him right there.
Last 37 games, the batting average spectacular. Home runs, doubles, RBIs, and runs. Runs batted in and runs, 63 total in 37 games. That's pretty impressive.
Well, he's showing us this year why we used to call him a 5-tool player when he was in that Blue Jay uniform.
Every bit of it. Well, a 2-time All-Star with the Blue Jays. Played an excellent right field, back in right field again. That certainly helps. He feels comfortable. He feels confident. He started this season hitting the baseball and hasn't stopped.
Look at this. No, Hosmer's there. And a 1-2-3, and that's 9 in a row retired by CHEN. for a post-game fireworks display presented by St. Xavier University. St. Xavier, success with purpose. Hosmer, Abreu, and Dyson here in the top of the 5th inning.
How can Hosmer have such a great year last year with all the experience he got, and then this year just struggle from the beginning till now?
I wish I knew. That ball hit hard in the center field. Jordan got a good jump. Oh yeah, piece of cake, can of corn. I wish I knew. The old sophomore jinx. Last year he looked like he might come out and hit 40 home runs this year and drive in 120.
Well, he was very aggressive on just about everything with good plate coverage and just seemingly hit the ball hard all the time. And this year, a complete turnaround.
Abreu fouls that one out. Chopper, three hopper.
This team has played consistently all year. You see the first 54 games, 31 and 23. Next 54. Similar. The batting average identical. The runs per game almost identical. Doubles right there. Triples right there. Home runs, even that identical. So when you're looking for consistency, this team has had that. Remarkably so, as a matter of fact. Thank you to Dave Ross for that.
That's low, 1-1 to Jarrod Dyson, who struck out leading off the 3rd. Watch out. Now Phil swung slightly to the left. Tries to Tommy Hawk that one, and it's souvenir left side.
You just as soon have the little guys hit the ball in the air, and that was Jake's intention as he threw a high fastball.
He did not go.
The appeal to Alan Porter at 3rd. He says no.
Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jake, 30 games over 500 in his career. What a competitor. He reminds me so much of Blackjack McDowell when he was with us. Last year, Jake went out there a lot of times, didn't have anything, and battled his behind off. Same way with Jack.
Pretty impressive numbers when you consider that the golden year of 2007 is a few major injuries ago. Yet he's come back, said he would come back, and he's come back with a vengeance, thrown the ball unbelievably well.
Yeah, the tandem of Peavy and Romeo.
It proved to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, it did. Good pitch, he gone. We're halfway home. Jake leads it 1-0. As we get set to go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 1-2-0 for us, 0-1-0 for them. It'll be AJ, Tank, and Danks. CHEN doing his thing against us once again. And he laces that one into center field. So the leadoff single. And you can come see our Sox take on the Oakland A's Saturday at 6:10. First 20,000 fans get a camouflage cap presented by Outdoor Channel and Xfinity. Purchase tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. And it is a nice cap. That beautiful Sox logo.
You're going to love that. It is good looking, and there's about 4 or 5 different varieties of hats, so they're not all the same. They just look great.
Tank fouled out a major league pop-up to MOUSTAKAS. There's the shot. Whew, wish he'd have got that one up. Meanwhile, first 2 men aboard.
Both AJ and Tank picked on the first pitch. 2 hard hit line drives and runners at first and second. Jordan Danks does not have a sacrifice this year. Let's see what Robin wants him to do.
Jordan grounded out to Hosmer. Now you got MOUSTAKAS in on the grass. He'll be coming. And Hosmer playing just behind Tank at first base. Hosmer. And they're going to get the double play.
Not a good base running play by AJ, who normally doesn't do that, but tried to get a running start. And when you have a guy that's not used to bunting, these things happen. Hosmer almost threw that ball away.
The thing what Robin was trying to do there is have Danks get him over and Olmedo squeeze one in. Takes a strike. He struck out his first trip. It's only a good play before the execution.
It's the right call. I can't
right
argue.
call. Perfect call. Yeah.
Can't argue with the call.
Have 2 bunts in a row.
Joe McEwen going through his set of signs.
That's into center field. Dyson got the bead and the ball, and it'll retire the side. Went to the 6th, leading 1-0. Sportsnet. Tomorrow at 5, Tribune writers Chris Cuck and Chris Hine join the panel along with Sherman. With ShermanReport.com's Ed Sherman. So join host David Kaplan for a nightly roundtable on Chicago Tribune Live, presented by Smirnoff. Yes, tomorrow night at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. Top of the order here in the top of the 6th for Kansas City. Gordon, GETZ, and Moustakas. Takes first pitch strike. Gordon has walked and grounded out to Pauly.
This inning where Jake's going to have to make some very good pitches, third time through the order, and some speed in the middle. A lot of those pitches you saw piled up early. About ready now to deliver pitch number 83.
Out of play, 2-2.
Pretty impressive line score so far for Jake, who walked him early, and then that was it.
And there's a solid single to left. So just the second hit given up by Peavy.
Gordon went right with it. Jake stayed away for the entire at bat. Now you've got a terrific bunter up in GETZ, who had a bunt hit in last night's game against Chris Sale.
GETZ has walked and popped up to Jordan Danks in center.
Here's our AT&T UVerse multi-view. I think the only way that they would run with Gordon would be on the hit and run. Can't imagine a straight steal.
There he goes. Hit and run was on. Bad throw. Six for 9 now. Gordon is in that category. Get over there, Paulie. He will. So gets the job done.
Chris GETZ gets a hand from his teammates. Now it's up to Jake to do something he's done both times against Moustakas. Has allowed him to hit the ball out of the infield.
Strikeout and a pop-up, and Detroit leading the Yankees 5-3, bottom of the 7th.
Robin is going to concede the run if the ball is hit to the right side. Olmedo well off the line, and even with the bag at third, everybody else deep.
Line shot. Here comes the throw. Here comes the runner. It's a good throw. But he slides down. Good slide, and this game is tied at 1. So the single, a stolen base, and the sacrifice fly.
It's a rocket of a line drive. Alex is right there. He makes the throw. And Gordon dives behind AJ.
So here's Butler. He's gone out to left and double to right. Goes through that one.
Took a little something off at 82 miles an hour, so Jake probably didn't want to get the changeup up that high, but it was velocity that fooled Butler, not location.
Yeah, too much time. Two and two the count. Gordon, he's got him. But they come up with a run, and we'll go to the bottom of the sixth, tied at 1. Against these Royals as our good guys look to extend their lead in the division. Coverage begins at 6:30 with White Sox pregame live presented by Honda City. White Sox Royals tomorrow at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. And the old team picture. Guys get together.
Going to be there a long time.
You see Kevin Hickey's jersey right there in the middle. He is not forgotten.
Well, the guys on this team really loved him, and he was a tireless worker that helped each and every one of them and never said no when you asked him to throw batting practice or do anything else.
As much as they loved him, they didn't love him as much as he loved them.
Yep.
And here's Gordon. He is 1 for 2. And here's what he did in the bottom of the first.
Took a high fastball. And that is the lone run of the ball game.
3-1 to count. We got 2-2 on the scoreboard out there. And that's the dreaded leadoff walk. That is the first walk issued by Chen. And here comes Alexei.
Well, last night in the 8th inning, Luis Mendoza walked his first and only man of the night, then watched him score in a Euclid double.
He pitched well. That guy is a good pitcher.
He's dominated AAA the last few years, and the only mystery is why he couldn't do it up here. But whatever the answer, he seems to have found it, because he appears to be a guy that would have a lot of value. He's got good stuff.
Pitches inside. You don't see a whole bunch of guys that do that. Decent lead by Gordon. And Alexei takes it right there. He is grounded to third. Moustakas made a good pick on a tough hop to get him, and he's gone out to left.
Gordon is playing him as a dead pull hitter. He's really over toward the line in left field. The gap is in right center.
So the wild pitch.
Third of the year for Chen. That could turn out to be very costly. Pena wants it inside. Chen throws it in front of the plate, and it just skips by Pena.
And while they're chatting, and Sox fans, join us on Friday at 7:10 as our Sox take on the Oakland A's for Country Music Night and Fireworks presented by Pepsi. So don't miss a pregame acoustic set by Nashville recording artist Greg Bates. That's Friday, 7:10. So purchase tickets by visiting WhiteSox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Good pitch right there by Chen.
Not easy for a right-hand hitter to foul one almost over our dugout and into the upper deck. With runners in scoring position, Alexei's been terrific since May 19th. Been close to otherworldly.
That'll get good at bat by Alexei. Yes. With 2 strikes. Nice. 1 out. Good job, big guy.
Well, especially because he's been a pull hitter most of this last couple of months. Knowing that getting that man over to third base with only 1 out was the play to make. It forces the infield in at all 4 positions and opens it up for the big man.
That was popped to left and lined hard to right center. Jared Dyson got a good jump and made the catch. 1-0 the count. With that infield in. He's got the catbird seat. 2-0. Souvenir left side. Grabs the strike, and that evens the count at 2.
They can't possibly have a full shift on, but they do have ABREU playing pretty much up the middle, although he's still on the third base side of second.
There's a shot base hit, a rope, Beckham scores. Good job by Alexei. And the Sox lead it 2-1. The dreaded leadoff walk.
It invariably comes back to bite you, but especially in the late innings. And especially at the top of the order, as Adam Dunn drives in his 75th. Puts our ball club on top. And Gordon Beckham has scored the only 2 runs of the game, playing the leadoff hitter to perfection.
I thought for sure he was going to drop down and throw him an inside fastball there, because if he dropped down, Gordon was going to, Adam was going to look for the breaking ball. So here's Polly. Don't stop now, boys. Wolf gave Chen the break right there, and the count 0-1. Paulie having to protect against it. Now, very quickly, it's 0-2. Well, I tell you, that's one of my pet peeves in the game.
That is?
When the hitter turn around and ask the umpire, was that a strike?
If it's a strike, yep. You're pretty much letting him know that you're not sure of the strike zone.
Got him. 2 down. Yeah, the managers I played for, if you did that, you got your behind chewed out. So here's Alex. He's 1 for 2.
Well, there's a lot of hitters that made their reputations on knowing exactly where the strike zone was, and so they would always get the borderline pitch one way or the other, and then never ask the umpire.
There's a shot. Stay fair. It will. Down into the corner, so Biggin makes the turn. He'll move into third on the double by Rios. For Alex's 27th two-bagger. And that'll bring up AJ.
Alex continues to pound the baseball. Menard's pitch tracks will show you what appeared to be a changeup. Only you don't want to throw a changeup inside to a right-hand hitter. That's what he did. Cost him a double.
And a good play by Gordon. If he gets caught real close to that carom, he's liable to get away from him, but he stayed back far enough. So ducks on the pond, 2 down. AJ is 1 for 2. Drop down with that fastball. And 0-1 to count.
Base hit here would make things a little more comfortable for Jake. Good arms in left and good arm in right. Great arm in right.
AJ has had two good pitches to hit. Fouled them both away. Now he's got a battle. The big hole. 0-2. Pops him up. But we come up with one and we lead it 2-1. Wives basket auction during our broadcast. Now the auction features 7 premium baskets assembled by the White Sox wives, and viewers have the opportunity to bid on the baskets online throughout the game. These special baskets feature several White Sox players' favorite everyday items, including favorite video games, clothes, food, wine, and apparel from their other favorite sports teams, as well as an autographed item. Now the auction begins at 11 a.m. at Central Time on Sunday, and fans can place bids at whitesox.com/baskets. 2-1 Sox lead here in the top of the 7th inning. It'll be FRANCOEUR, Pena, and HOSMER. FRANCOEUR has struck out and then hit a screaming Mimi. I mean, a screaming Mimi right at Tank. There's the bunt. Olmedo's got to hurry. Can't get it. So the leadoff man aboard.
It turned out to be a heads-up play by Jeff FRANCOEUR because he took a look at Olmedo at third base, realized he was back. You don't have to make a great bunt when the third baseman is as far back as that. Just get the ball on the grass, which he did, and beat it just barely by a step at first base. Nice play by Olmedo, but a heads-up bunt by FRANCOEUR.
There's Pena twice. He has popped up to Alexei. Takes it right there. Just a short lead. And the count 2-1.
Jake knocking at the door of 100 pitches. He's about to deliver number 98.
Also, if you did not hear, Johnny Danks underwent successful surgery yesterday. Expected to be fully able to start 2013 spring training. And that's popped up. Tank. Whoa. One down.
Looked like an easy enough play as he drifted with it. And then at the last minute, wind kind of pushed it away from him.
Hosmer has walked. He lined out hard and deep to center field. Jordan Danks read it perfectly, got a good jump, went back and made an easy play out of it. Rips that one by. So FRANCOEUR going into third base. Trouble brewing.
That low fastball on the inner portion was absolutely scalded. Paulie had no chance whatsoever. Now you got ABREU, who's played Pepper with Gordon Beckham at second. First time up, grounding into an inning-ending double play in the second. Hosmer, for a big man, runs well. 10 out of 11 in the stolen base department.
And that's trouble. There's the throw to third. He gone. Beautiful peg. The Tank.
Viciedo gets it there. It's on the money.
It had to be.
And a call by Alan Porter.
But the run scores. We're tied at 2, and here is Dyson, who was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. So a little bunt single comes across home plate. Beckham, got to hurry. Yes. Nope. Probably.
He's got something in his eye. It looked like the ball was in the dirt.
Well, he got hit on the side of the face. Well, it must be something in his eye. As you mentioned, he had to pick it.
Take a look at it again. Gordon has to go far to his left. Able to keep this in the infield. That saved a run. That ball was in the dirt.
Yeah, Dyson got him with his elbow.
Gordon does everything he can. Looks like he got him on the back of the right side of his head.
So Hermie's coming out. Take another look.
He could very well be right. Looked like the left elbow might have caught Paulie in the right side around the temple area.
So we got to get out of this jam. 2 out runners at the corners and great speed at first base. Abreu at third. And the leadoff hitter, Alex Gordon at the plate, who's 1 for 2. 2-6-0. The totals for both teams. Big hack, no contact. Well, they had that little meeting and they know what they're going to do when Dyson takes off.
Layson Septimo throwing in the bullpen. There's a look at Layson.
And that's trouble. So it's a 3-2 Kansas City lead.
RBI number 42 on the second hit of the night for Gordon. Both times Jake threw the ball in the same spot, which was low and away. One time Gordon went to left field, that time he went to right center. Both time for singles.
And you got to watch the bunt right here with GETZ. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. And here comes Robin. He's got Septimo, who is ready down in that pin if he wants to go there. So a good job by Jake. It was a struggling effort for him. Control wasn't quite as sharp.
Particularly good, and then late started giving up base hits. So as Septimo comes in, Jake departs. We'll step out and be back after these messages. Jake did tonight, and he's responsible for the runners at first and third. So in comes Layson Septimo. GETZ showed us last night that he can hit left-handers. Layson has been pretty good this year. On for the 10th time.
AJ's got to be on his toes. That's low ball 1. GETZ 2 for 3 last night off Chris Sale. He's now 6 for 11 lifetime off Chris.
Pretty amazing. Probably one of the few left-handers can say that.
There he goes, and there's a line shot caught by Beckham. Nice play by Gordon. Meanwhile, they put 2 on the board. We'll go to 7th inning stretch, trailing 3-2.
what ended the top of the 7th inning. Chris GETZ making a bid to drive in another run, but Gordon Beckham right there to pick it off the dirt and out of the inning. Nice play by Gordon. That's our doing more on defense.
And it's the lower third of our order here in the bottom of the 7th. VICIEDO, DANKS, and Olmedo. Tank 1 for 2, a vicious single in the left field. First pitch strike from the Panamanian southpaw of Chinese descent. One and one to count. Chen, 35 years old. A big hack, no contact. And the count 1-2.
Looks like the Royal bullpen is up and going in case Chen has any problems.
Two balls, two strikes. MOUSTAKAS back and off the line at third.
Throwing in the pen.
Jammed him. One hopper, GETZ has got him. One out, and that'll bring up Jordan DANKS. Jordan is grounded to first and tried to bunt. Sacrifice back in the 5th. He had men on first and second, nobody out, and he popped it up to HOSMER into a double play.
It's hard to believe, but that's how the Kansas City 2-run rally in the 7th started, with a well-placed bunt. A surprise from FRANCOEUR.
Yes, it was in a 1-1 ball game. Drops down, a little slow curveball, and the count 1-1.
We had a couple of great opportunities against Bruce Chen, but just haven't been able to put them away.
Yankees hitting in the top of the 9th inning. One out, nobody on, and a Detroit 6-3 lead. That ball hit right at FRANCOEUR. That's a hang woof'em for DANKS. Sox fans, every White Sox Friday home game is United Flyaway Friday. Each Friday home game, one lucky fan will have the chance to win 2 free round-trip tickets to anywhere in the continental United States that United Airlines flies. United proud to fly our White Sox. Great crew. Mark Seipold, Mike Corrigan, Bobby Garcia, Tanya, Jackie, Carolina, and all the great folks at Atlantic Aviation, Nick and the gang. Two and 0 the count. Olmedo was struck out and went out deep to center. Don't help him out. 3-1. Beckham on deck.
Especially the way Gordon's hit the ball tonight. He's seeing Chen very well.
Taking all the way, as he should have been, so a full count. Jammed him. Get down. It will. can't get him. So an infield single.
Looked like ABREU must have gotten a late break on this one. He's playing awfully deep at shortstop, and he took a step back. With one hop, no chance to get Olmedo, who's got pretty good speed, and he beats it easily.
So Ned Yost out. He has made the call to the pen. Bruce Chen once again pitching well against our Sox. Goes 6 2/3. He departs. Herrera comes on, and we'll be back. Foodbank.org/White Sox to make a donation. Fans can also donate at the Sox game on Saturday, August 25th, and receive a White Sox reusable grocery bag presented by all the good folks at Dominick's.
Time for our Jeep call to the pen, and it's Kelvin Herrera who leads all Major League rookies in appearances. This is 52nd. Overall, a very good ERA, but especially good lately. 175 since May 20th.
First pitch, and he can throw hard. He can get it up there. That one at 97. He's just 5'10", but he does weigh 200 pounds, 22 years old. He was signed when he was 16 years old by the Royals out of the Dominican Republic. Tenares in the Dominican. That one at 96, and that's going to be Souvenir, right side.
One thing Kansas City does have, they got some pretty good arms in the bullpen.
That's the strong point of their club, pitching wise.
When you consider that Soria was lost for the year early in this one, he's their closer. That made everybody have to slot on up. Made things a little difficult.
Well, they've got 4 of their pitchers on the DL. Danny Duffy, Felipe Paulino, Joaquin Soria, and Blake Wood.
Danny Duffy really hurts him because he was going to be one of the front end starters. He hurt himself against us, and they don't think he's going to be ready till perhaps July of next year.
Whew.
He was lost for a while.
The 1-2 pitch. There's a little looper. Jared Dyson's there, makes a catch, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 8th, trailing 3-2. As we get set to go to the top of the 8th inning, Moustakas to lead it off against Layson Septimo. Got Nate Jones down in the bullpen for Butler and FRANCOEUR. Moustakas 0 for 2 with a sacrifice line drive. Two and 0 the count. Come back, no walks, Layson. 27,194. That didn't take long. The dreaded leadoff walk. And here comes Robin.
With Jones being ready, there's no way he's going to let Septimo face Butler, so he's already motioned to the pen. That'll mean that Septimo will depart. Nate Jones will come in, and we'll be back after these messages.
iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text ATBAT to 31826 or visit whitesox.com.
Our chief call to the pen is Nate Jones. Was a very busy man when the Angels were in town. A 5-0 record, 3.33 ERA. He's been very good this year, on for the 42nd time. He inherits Moustakas at first base. He's going to go right through the right-handed gauntlet for these Royals.
Billy Butler is 1 for 3, a double down into the right field corner. A line shot back in the 4th inning. Little high neck in. Meanwhile, the leadoff walk is now at second.
For Jones, that's going to be wild pitch number 5.
That one at 98. Couldn't get it. 1-1. That ball hit hard. It is 5-2 Kansas City. Those leadoff walks have a tendency to make a lot of trouble.
Leadoff walks and high fastball to a guy that can really turn him around. 15th career homer against our Sox. Second of this series. Ford home run replay. Fastball just under letter high and right down the middle of the plate and crushed to center field.
So here's FRANCOEUR. Started off that 2-run seventh with a nice bunt single. Takes it low and away. Chops that foul. Well, Butler's in some pretty good company here prior to the start of this season. He was one of just 10 players to record at least 500 hits, 200 runs, 50 home runs, and hit 300 or better in the previous 3 seasons. The others are Braun, Miguel Cabrera, Cano, Adrian Gonzalez, Matt Holliday, Victor Martinez, Albert Pujols, Votto, and Michael Young. So that's some pretty good company there.
Well,
one out.
That's the elite of the game. That's what.
Yeah.
That's where he falls.
Yeah. Just 26 years old. That first pitch, that high neck ender, got him juiced up.
A little unhappy, I think.
That will do it. I tell you, hitters actually love that. It's more of a subconscious type of affection there. That once a guy throws one up, especially a hard thrower, that's fair ball. So Pena is retired, 2 down. Then you see it, and all of a sudden you know he can't hit you. And you get that adrenaline flowing, and then I don't care how hard you throw.
No, 69 driven in. 22nd home run for Butler. And Philip Humber loosening up in the bullpen. Probably to pitch the ninth to get an inning under his belt.
5-8-0 for them, 2-7-0 for us here in the top of the 8th. Finale tomorrow night, Jose Quintana for us against Jeremy Guthrie. Former Oriole, former Rocky. Can't make it to the ballpark. That game will be over. Comcast Sportsnet. Beckham, a good play, good throw. Nice play, Beckham. He's good. Meanwhile, 2 more across the plate. We got some work to do.
On a foul ball hit by Gordon Beckham, FRANCOEUR goes over into the corner thinking he might have a shot at it. But when he finds out he doesn't, he decides that he is kind of hungry. So he just reaches into a fan's popcorn and helps himself. Illinois Lottery, anything's possible.
All right, boys, let's go. ALEXEI, DUNN, KONERKO to face Herrera. Yankees tried to come back in that game. They scored 2 off Valverde, had men on second, third, 2 out, and Granderson popped up to end the ball game. So the Tigers won it 6-5.
Well, the big potato was trying to give it away,
yeah,
but fell just 1 run short.
0-2 the count to ALEXEI. He is 0 for 3 last time up. Got the job done, though. He had to get Beckham over, who had walked, gone to second on a wild pitch. Got him over the third, and Dunn knocked him in. Just got a piece of it. And that's out number 1.
That was just terrific movement on a ball that was sinking down and in to Ramirez. When you throw as hard as Herrera throws and then you go to a 2-seamer and take a little something off, watch this ball dive down and in. It looked like could have been a splitter.
Or a spitter. Or a greaser.
Yeah, he had that kind of movement.
Here's Adam. Adam 1 for 3 with an RBI, his 75th. Adam has popped up to left, lined hard to center, then singled a rocket to center. He swung the bat well tonight. Good rip at that one. That one at 97 from Herrera. That one at 98. 5'10", 200 pounds. Big arm.
With a very big arm.
Got him. Says Jim Wolf.
It's 98. Our BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks will show you that it had the plate. Not much of a chance to make your mind up when a guy's throwing 98.
So here's Pauly. Pauly over 3 tonight. Watch out. That one at 86 for a strike. 1-1 to count. It's KONERKO.
The left-hander who threw last night Collins loosening up in the pen. He's also got very good stuff.
Good rip by Paulie.
That one at 99.
These guys for the last 4 years have really played us tough.
It's been remarkable because they haven't played a whole lot of teams tough, but doesn't matter who we have or who they have or how we're going at the time we run into them, but they play us just as tough as the Yankees play us.
And that's slicing foul.
Well, after the disaster last time by Chris Perez, who gave up a 3-run lead in the bottom of the 10th inning in Detroit, he was called on to help snap the Indians' 10-game losing streak, and he's given up the lead in the top of the 9th to Minnesota. It's a 5-5 game.
Breaking ball high. Got him at 99. So he strikes out the side. Little man with a big arm, and we'll go to the 9th.
ERA up over 6. This will be his first appearance out of the bullpen this year after 16 starts, one of them a perfect game. And Chris Perez has surrendered 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning as Minnesota's taken a 7-5 lead and still batting in the top of the 9th over the Indians, who are 3 outs away from losing their 11th straight game.
That ball is down into the corner. So ABREU picks up his 2nd hit and his first extra base hit this season.
ABREU called up when they designated for assignment Uniesky Betancourt. He's making the most of his opportunity, this being his third club.
So here's Dyson. Had an infield single. Factored in pretty good in that 2-run seventh. One and one to count. 5-9-0 for them. Two good arms there. Trying to get the job done as he moves to third, one out. Here's Gordon. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI, a run scored, and a stolen base as the Sox bring the infield in. Takes first pitch, strike. Chops it foul in the count, 0-2.
Little above league average, driving in a man home from third with less than 2 outs.
Tried to get him upstairs. He just did get a piece of it. Curveball low, blocked by AJ. Gordon Beckham homered, leading off the bottom of the first inning. We led it. They tied it with 1 in the 6th. We came right back in the bottom of the 6th with an RBI single by Dunn to take a 2-1 lead. Then they added 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th. High pop up. Tank. And that's out number 2. For our guys in the bottom of the 9th, Rios, Pierzynski, Viciedo, the first 3. GETZ against Tufts. He is a tough out.
He's putting together a pretty good year now that they're allowing him to play most all the time at second base.
That's into center field. So Humber gives up the leadoff double. That's it. We go to the bottom of the ninth. We need 3 to tie.
To you by Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moment. Alex Gordon, who had a good night, drives in the go-ahead run. Billy hit a 2-run homer to make the lead 3, but that gave them the lead to this point. New pitcher coming in. It's Greg Holland, another hard-throwing right-hander at 5-3, ERA 3.30. At times, he does have control problems, but when he gets it over, as you can see, 59 strikeouts in 43 2/3 innings, he can be very tough.
So here's Alex. Alex, 2 for 3 with a stolen base, a single, a double. Now hitting at .319. First pitch strike, that at 95. That one at 96.
They might not have real good starting pitching, but there's not much wrong with that bullpen.
No, that bullpen is, let's see. That's high in the center field. Dyson, that bullpen is, you know, about, what was it, Steve? About 4 or 5 years ago, they had a good bullpen. And they had decent starting pitching, and all of a sudden the bullpen, everybody out there got crippled up. And of course, at that time, it didn't make any difference how good your starters are. That was the best starters they've had for a while, and no bullpen. Now it's just the opposite.
And now the starters have gone backwards. Danny Duffy got hurt. Montgomery, who everybody thought would be in the big leagues now, has actually been sent down to AA. And Lamb, a guy that I also thought would be here, coming back from arm surgery. So the big three, the guys they viewed as 60% of their starting rotation, they're just not here.
They've had some tough luck in that pitching department.
They have that.
Flips it into left field. Alex is there. So 2 down. And we're down to our last out with Viciedo. Tank is 1 for 3.
Takes that one downstairs. One and one to count.
If this holds up, it'll be just the second save of the year for Greg Holland, who's used mostly as a setup man.
And when this ball comes down, this game will be over. So the Sox now have a split so far. We'll have the rubber match tomorrow with Jose Quintana against Jeremy Guthrie.
Well, tonight, once again, Bruce Chen just showed what he usually does against our ball club, making it very difficult for him. Jake Peavy was good and then ran into some tough luck on a rally started by a bunt.
CHEN got us again. And let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is the left fielder, the leadoff hitter, Alex Gordon, 2 for 4 with that RBI, run score, and stole a base, our GMC player of the game. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr. for the Mayor Mean Joe Groove, and up here in the booth Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Paul Carey, down in the truck and sound, Frank Leone. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group.